Hi everyone. In this tutorial I will show you how to create maps on QGIS that are going to look like this. So this is a part of the map that's showing New Caledonia with elevation data on it. We have some circles representing some specimens with their GPS locations, and we're seeing some legends. So we're going to do it from scratch. So let's go back to the QGIS. We are using the version 3.2214. It's the long time release. And then let's create a new empty project. First thing we're going to do is bring up the world map. Click on Web, Quick Map Services, OSM, OSM Standard. This is going to bring up the world map. Let's zoom into the New Caledonia. This is the site we're going to use. So this looks good. Next thing we're going to do is create a shape that's going to look like New Caledonia's Grand Terre map. So click on New Shapefile layer. Right here we have these three dots. Click on it. Let's go on desktop, new folder. I already created a folder called tutorial for QGIS, and let's call the files that's going to be created eventually as new cal save. Geometry type is polygon. Integer, I'm going to remove this because with the integer you can only name your files as zeros, ones, twos, threes with numbers basically, but I like to name them with some characters in it. New cal, text data, length is 80, that's good enough. Add to fields list, and then say OK. Now let's create a shape by clicking on this pencil called toggle editing. We're just going to make a rough shape. Later on we're going to download some shapes online that's going to actually have the Grand Terre map. Next thing, click on the screen polygon shape. It says add polygon feature, and then let's create this rough sketch. I'm only using the left click of my mouse, and then once you're done you're gonna double click right here or right click. Let's call this new cal 1. Say OK. Alright, so next thing we're gonna do, go on plugins, SRTM downloader. We're going to say set canvas extent. Download. It's going to ask for your credentials. If you don't know yours, go on this link, which is going to take you to here. Say register, get your, it's free and you should do it. Once you're done, transfer your username and your password to QGIS and say OK, and it's going to start downloading a bunch of files that's going to include the elevation data. Download completed, close. Okay, so that looks good enough. I will minimize these. Let's get rid of the extra ones. So for example, this one, it's necessary. This one is necessary as well. This one is not. This one is not. That's good. I would say we can get rid of this one as well, and that's all good. So select the unchecked ones, click on this remove layer, and now this is what it looks like. We can even get rid of this. So next thing, we're gonna merge all of these together by going on raster, miscellaneous, merge, click on this three dots, select all, deselect the OSM standard, say OK, and then run. And then voila, it created this. As you can see, it has the shape of this whole image. Now we can get rid of these single HGT files. Remove layer, and we can remove this one as well. That's the extra single one. And then right now what we have is the OSM standard, which is the map, the world map. We have the shape, New Caledonia shape, and then we have the elevation data. What we would like to do is crop this elevation data and turn it into only this part because we would like to see the sea and the ocean. So go on raster, extraction, clip raster by mask clear, New Caledonia, assign a specified no data value to minus 9,999, and then click on run. We got an error saying the following layers were not correctly generated. And I know why this happened, because when we created this shape, we did not click on save. So click on save, and then let's go back and do this again. Clip raster by mask clear. This is the merged. Mask clear is New Caledonia. Let's go and let's run it. We're not going to see any errors, and it's going to give us the file that we need. Alright, it's finished. Close. Now it doesn't look much different right now because these are still visible, but once we uncheck these, this is what we're left with. If you cannot find some good rasters online, this is the practice you're going to follow. So you're going to zoom in and create your polygon in very small details. But fortunately, we have some free files available online, and that's actually what we're going to follow. So for this, I'm going to go on Google and say OpenStreetMap data, and wherever you want to create the data, you're just going to type in the country or the region name. In this case, it's going to be New Caledonia. On Google, OpenStreetMap data, New Caledonia. Let's download this file. It's probably going to contain a couple of things. I believe it's downloaded the file. It's still downloading it. We can wait, but I've already downloaded it. It's going to have all of these things. So we're going to need this, and that. And then what we're going to do is let's remove these clip mask and the polygon because we don't really need the polygon anymore, and bring all of these, say add layers, and now this is what we have. Permanently saved under contents. Well, are you sure you want it? Yes, I don't really mind it. Let's save the project. New Caledonia 1. Remove unavailable layers. The files that are available online has a lot more details than you can actually create in 15 minutes. Over here we have some details of like buildings. Let's zoom into the southern part of the island. Let's take a look at those. Place labels. Points of interest. It's making some small changes. Buildings. Roads and tracks. As you can see, it has a lot. From this, what you like to do is basically remove the ones that are not important for you. So for example, buildings. For this map, I don't really need the buildings. I'm going to remove this. Roads and tracks. I can keep it or not, but for this one, since I don't have the roads and tracks, I don't really need it. So I'm going to remove the roads and tracks. Ocean, it's up to you. In this case, I don't think I will keep ocean data. An OpenStreetMap, it's also up to you. I guess I can remove this. Boundary, it creates a little bit of boundary right next to the shoreline. I think I'm going to keep this. Let's repeat the process again. So now I removed a bunch of different things. I would like to move these layers to the outside. I don't need the reefs. Wetlands, let's keep them. Water, we'll definitely keep water. Now, next thing we're going to do is create the elevation data. So for this, let's zoom out a little bit because I actually want to grab a lot of stuff. This boundary is going to help us a lot. So let's go plugins, SRTM downloader. Actually, let's zoom out. I want to take the whole island. plug in SRTM downloader, set canvas extent, download. Okay, it's gonna download a bunch. Now we're gonna remove the unnecessary files, unnecessary layers. I don't need this. Nope, nope. Yes, yes, nope, yes. Not really. Nope. Actually, let's keep this, because why not? All right. And yeah. And then we can remove the ones that are unchecked. Remove the layers. Now we're gonna merge all of these together again. Raster, miscellaneous, merge. Click on these three dots, select all, okay, run. Close. Now we can get rid of the single ones, except this one. And now we have the merge, raster, extraction, clip raster by mask layer. Right here we have the boundary. I don't know which one's gonna be the right one, so we'll just try, I guess. 9,999. Run. Not this one, turns out. Let's go on merged again. Raster, extraction, clip raster by mask layer, lend. 9,999. Run. Let's close this. Merged. Alright, there we go. So now we have this shape clipped as the island only. So we can get rid of the merge. And let's rename this as rename layer elevation data. These little things, you can get rid of them because they are inside the natural, so like wetlands. Alright, next thing we're gonna do is we definitely don't want this to look like black and white. So we're gonna go on to our figure, and apparently they want the elevations to be almost teal, and then the mid layers to be almost orange-ish, and then the bottoms are gonna be green. So let's go over here. Let's double click, choose symbology, single band pseudo color, and then we're gonna create a color ramp. For this, let's create a couple more. For this one, let's call it 0, and we want the color. Now we need to find out the colors of this. Go on Google HTML color codes from image. Color codes. Color codes. So this one, turns out it is this color. So for this, we can just choose this one. This is going to be our second layer. Oops. So value is 1612. And this one is 0. 0 is going to be this green. And then the mid colors, I guess there's only one mid color, and it's this. And let's call this mid color as 800. And then say apply, and then OK. I guess the colors look slightly bit different, but you can adjust that. And then next thing we're going to do is, as you can see, we cannot see the waterways, we cannot see the rivers. So what we'd like to do is bring this down layer by layer to see where it actually belongs to. Place labels, we definitely want place layers. Waterways, yep, and then maybe natural. Definitely not behind the land, but in between land and natural looks like the right spot for this data. We're going to be covering a couple more details. So for example, when we compare these two images, the waterways are a lot more teal looking than it's supposed to be. Over here it's more of a dark blue color. Changing the colors of waterways. Let's go to waterway, river, canal. Let's make this a little bit darker, maybe like this. Okay, so it looks a little bit better maybe. And then streams, we can also turn the streams into a darker color. But I want to use the same color, so let's copy the code. And then let's go into the details of this one. Switch into the same color. Okay, so right now it looks a little bit better. Next thing is, let's add the GPS locations. To do that, we need to make an Excel sheet. So over here, I have an Excel sheet. I have my label numbers, I have my genus, I have my species. Those are not really relevant. All I need is technically my label number, my latitude, and my longitude, and then also my subgroups to create different colorations according to those subpopulations. Well, what I'm going to do is, by the way, these are all made up numbers, but they're going to pop up on New Caledonia because I grabbed the location data from New Caledonia. I will save this file in CSV format, and let's call this New Cal tutorial. And I would like to save this file in the tutorial file as well. Let's go back to here, and we're going to import our GPS data now. So what we're going to do right now is go on layer, add the limited text layer, find your file, go on desktop, tutorial for QGIS, new tutorial, New Cal tutorial CSV, and this is the file. X field is going to be our longitude, Y field is going to be our latitude, and then we're going to edit the label numbers according to their subgroups. So click on add and then close, and as you can see, it already shows up the data on the maps. Now, just to be clear, some of these dots are on the ocean. The reason is that because I made up these GPS data and I didn't actually want to give out the actual information to you. Next thing we're going to do is double click on this categorized. Our value is going to be subgroup, symbol, you can choose anything, random colors, that works. When we say classify, it's going to create 1, 2, 3, 4 because we had 4 subgroups. The last one, we can remove this one, and then we're going to say OK. And then as you can see, the coloration already happened. Next thing we need to do is let's switch the size to 4 and then say OK. And as you can see already, it looks a lot better. Let's assume we're content with what we have right now, and we would like to export this with the legends. You're going to click on Project, New Print Layout. Let's call it New Cal Map 1. This is going to take us into a canvas. Add item, add map. Click over here at the top left corner and drag it down to the right bottom. And it's going to take the exact same image to right here. What we want to do right now is add these legends, these 2 legends. So let's start with adding the legend that includes the elevation. Right here on the right side, uncheck the auto update. Remove these because we don't need these. Boundary, nope. Waterway, nope. We only need the elevation data, right? Oops. Land, remove. OpenStreetMap, remove. And this is what we're left with. We can remove this band 1 gray as well. And the elevation data, I'm just going to call this elevation meters. And this one, click on it. We can increase the width. We can increase the height to, let's go with 50, maybe 60 actually. let us put a frame on it. All right, this is looking good. Next thing, adding the North Star, the North arrow. Let's put it right here. Looks good. And then let's add the scale bar as well. All right, what we're missing is the grid lines and this legend, right? Next legend, we'll go to right here. And again, uncheck the auto update. Remove this. Remove all of these. New cal tutorial. We can call this as genetic subgroups. Let's name this as subgroup 1. Repeat the process. Now, what we like to do, normally, you should go back and change these colors, because if someone is colorblind, they cannot distinguish the red one and the green one. Over here, we're using blue, dark blue, and orange. They're opposite colors. And then pink, purplish pink, which is a color that neither looks like blue nor orange for the colorblind people. That's what you should aim for. And then also we need the grid lines. For this, we're gonna go on grids. Add one, click on it, modify grid. We're gonna use the map units, use map CRS, and then let's go with 0.2 first. So this is already looking very similar. What we would like to do is add these little layers. For this, we're going to go down, draw coordinates, decimal with suffix. We would like to have details on the left side and top side, but not the bottom and right side. So bottom, disabled, right side, disabled as well, and the left side, inside frame, top side, inside frame. And I don't want them to be horizontal, I want them to be vertical. Actually, for the left side, they are going to be horizontal, but I want it under tick. For the top side, I want it vertical, ascending, about tick. This one needs a frame as well. And let's see if we're missing anything. Right now it looks very similar. Now the next step is exporting this. Export as PDF always is the best option, because it's not going to lose the quality of image. So let's go on desktop, choose our file. Let's go call it done. Let's save it, save again. Actually, let's go on Google, well, desktop, tutorial for QGIS, and the PDF. And right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the map we have.